Okay, guys, my name is Desmond, and I welcome you to my lesson for today. Ladies and gentlemen, please do allow me to say it's very much important that I say it's very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm about to say, it's massively important. So, guys, at all times, a day without learning something new is a day wasted. By so saying, good people, please do make sure that by the end of each and every lesson that I conduct, you learn something new. So, guys, in today's lesson, we'll be looking at functions. Obviously, I took you through all that you needed to know with regards to a straight line. We also did in the same lesson parabola. So on Monday's lesson, we covered straight line and parabola. On Tuesday, we covered hyperbola and exponential functions. So on Wednesday, that's when we started with solving exam papers. So for today and possibly tomorrow, we'll be doing exam type of question papers. And remember, guys, I'm more interested in providing you guys with exam tips and again guide you in terms of how you answer exam questions. So just in case if you are watching this lesson on my YouTube channel, just make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification to be notified of my future uploads. So it helps you so that every time when I upload a new lesson, you are notified and you are able to immediately catch up. So good people, just make sure that if you like the content here, just make sure to like that video on my YouTube channel and make sure that you don't miss any of my future uploads. So obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose everyone who has joined today's lesson is watching from my Telegram. So you are welcome to participate as the lesson continues. So I've sent an image in the group. Let me just ask one of the Amanda, did you see that image that I sent in the group for today's lesson?
Yes, sir.
Last confirmation, Shreyas, did you also get it? I sent today's question paper in the group. Did you also get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 100%. So obviously the first question is question 4. So let's start with question 4 and quickly work out question 4. As soon as we are done with question 4, then we can quickly try to have a look at question number 5. So let me just make sure that I've got all my stuff ready. So this is what you're going to need. And again, in case if you're writing, then it's fine. So ladies and gentlemen, on yesterday's lesson, someone stole my calculator. I managed to get it back. There, I've got it. So guys, let's have a look at our very first problem for today, which is question number 4. So I'm just going to quickly open that question paper from my side, and then from there, I'm just going to read the information given there. So it reads as follows. The line y is equals to x plus 1 and y is equals to negative x minus 7 are the axis of symmetry of the function, being this function. So let me just quickly write that information. So it says the line y is equals to x plus 1 and y is equals to negative x minus 7 are the axis of symmetry of the function. So both of these are the axes of symmetry of this function below. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is very, very much important that you catch up on those first lessons that I did, because you will understand what is meant by axis, what is meant by symmetry. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're given information similar to this one, before you even check at the question, I'm going to quickly help you and teach you in terms of how you interpret the given statement. If we were also given the diagram, of which on the next question we're given the diagram, I'm also going to take you through on how to interpret the given information. So, good people, let's have a look. Here, you are given a line. They did not specify what type of a line is that. But because we know all the four types of functions, we know we've got a straight line, we've got a hyperbola, we've got a parabola, we also have exponential. I've taught you guys in terms of how to notice the type of a function that you're dealing with. So at this stage, you can see this is a straight line. And again, this is a straight line. So before I even go deep, let me quickly explain to you what happens with that first straight line. So you have y, that's equals to x plus 1. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, you have what we call a Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? A Cartesian plane is a vertical line which we call the y-axis. We also have the horizontal line, which we call the x-axis. This is what we call a Cartesian plane, which has got quadrant number 1, quadrant number 2, quadrant number 3, quadrant number 4. We know from the origin in that direction we have positive x values. From the origin in that direction we've got negative x values. And again, from there upwards we've got positive y values. In that direction, we've got negative y values. Very, very much important, ladies. Remember, guys, I said there, if it is not written anything, we've got an invisible one, of which is not necessary to write. That invisible one, is it a positive or is it a negative? It's a positive invisible one. And we know that it represents the gradient. So now that we say we've got a positive 1 and it represents the gradient, it means this straight line, it is actually straight line in that direction. Remember, guys, I said you can either have a positive gradient or a negative gradient. So a positive gradient will be in that direction, and most importantly, guys, a negative gradient is going to be in that direction. Very, very much important. But now remember, we've got positive 1 over there. What did I say about that positive 1? We said it actually has an impact on the vertical shift. What is the vertical shift? The vertical shift is when a straight line shifts either upwards or, ladies and gentlemen, downwards. How do you know if a function is shifting upwards or downwards? This sign will tell you. If it's a positive, it means upwards. If it's negative, it means downwards. So in this case, Mr. D, it means we've got a straight line with a positive gradient, which is being shifted upwards by 1 unit, which means there you've got 1, possibly 2, 3, 4, whatever. So that means for this straight line, it's actually a straight line in that direction, passing through that point of 1. Why that point of 1? Is because originally this straight line, it was actually passing through the origin. Then from the origin is being shifted upwards by 1 unit. That is why it is cutting the y-axis at that point. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that when you're given a function, you are able to interpret this type of information. And all of this, guys, is based on the lesson that I taught you on Monday. So just make sure that if you are not confident with what I'm explaining now, make sure to watch the lesson that I did on Monday and again on Tuesday. It explains more about that. And again, let's now talk a little bit more about the second straight line. Remember, guys, it is necessary for you to understand all of this information, because you will have a better understanding as we solve upcoming questions. As I said, it's not only about me showing you on how to answer exam questions, but what matters the most is that in each and every question, we should explore all the information which is related or relevant to that particular question or lesson of the day. Honorable members, the second line is y is equals to -1x minus 7. Guys, I'm still going to repeat the same thing. There, we've got a negative value. What is that value? It's negative invisible 1. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. What does it mean? It means our straight line is going to be passing from the second and the fourth quadrant, which means if you have positive gradient, this is how your straight line is going to be. If you have a negative gradient, this is how your straight line is going to be. It doesn't matter whether it's -1, -7, -2/3, negative whatever. It doesn't matter whether it's +7, it's +2, it's +3, or whatever. The line, it is just going to be in that direction. What differs is the slope. You might find that for this one is like that, but if it was +2 there, you might find that it's steeper. The more the bigger the number there, the steeper it becomes. The more the number there, the more it shifts. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it in short. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are we having over there? We've got negative gradient. So, for the fact that we have a negative gradient, it simply means our line is going to be like that. And very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, cutting the origin, but now can you see it shifts 7 units downwards? So that means that line is going to -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, 7. So that means our straight line, it's going to cut, let's say -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So there we've got -7, ladies and gentlemen. That means, remember, that one, it just continue up to infinity. So that means that straight line, because it's a negative gradient, it means it's going to be in that direction. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you notice this type of information, guys, before you even start with the questions. So I want you guys to notice something interesting there. Can you see? This is the point of intersection of these two axes of symmetry. And what is interesting about these two lines is because they have the same x value and they have the same y value. We are just not sure at this point in time in terms of what is that x value and what is that y value. We just know that always, ladies and gentlemen, where two lines cross each other or where they intersect, we know if we equate those equations, we are going to get the same x value. And again, we can use whatever information that we have, being the x value, substitute it into one of these equations to calculate the y value. I hope that makes perfect sense. So something very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, the aim here is just to unpack all that information so that it makes sense to you guys. The word symmetry, what does it mean? I've explained so many times, ladies and gentlemen, you say, if you've got a slice of bread over there, assuming that I'm just not really sure if this looks like Albany or if it looks like is it still Saskosem or is it now someone? But I think it's still Saskosem. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, I said if you want to cut this slice of bread into equal halves, so that you guys don't fight as siblings as to who got the bigger piece and so forth and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, we cut it into equal half, and this is the half, or this is where you can cut it. Can you see, ladies and if you cut it right there, then it's now cut into two pieces which are equal. So this line where you cut it is what we call the axis of symmetry. So that means axis of symmetry, ladies and gentlemen, ke malamulela. What does it mean? It simply means a gaolatshelo. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? It simply means it actually cuts whatever object into two equal halves. Ladies and gentlemen, the same same slice of bread. You can choose again to cut it like that, guys, into two equal halves. That line is what we call axis of symmetry. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe this one is Albani. So you can still cut it like that, ladies and gentlemen. This and that are equal. So you've cut it into two equal halves. So this is a Desmond bread, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very nice. A very nice bread. A very nice slice of bread. Ladies and gentlemen, to cut it into two equal halves, you can still cut it like that. Very, very much important. So you will now notice that it doesn't matter how you cut it, but what matters the most is that with just a one line, you are able to cut it into two equal halves. And you guys as siblings, you won't fight as two who got a bigger share. So that's what I can say with regards to an axis of symmetry. Massively important. So now let's quickly discuss that type of a function. What is that, guys? I've explained to say when you have a sum over x, that function is what we call hyperbola. This is hyperbola at a baby stage. The moment you add plus p, then it's at teenage stage. The moment you add q, that's when it's at adult stage. So we have three stages for all of these functions. I've explained all of those stages. So now that it is at an adult stage, you just need to be aware that this refers to the vertical shift of your hyperbola, and this refers to the horizontal shift of your hyperbola. And most importantly, both of these at the same time are your asymptotes. Massively important that at all times when you're given an information, you are able to interpret it. And most importantly, guys, remember, you are able to notice that we've got a negative a value over there. What does it mean? It means our hyperbola is going to be in the second and fourth quadrant. So we said if the a value is negative, our function is going to be there and there. But if it's positive, it's going to be first and third quadrant. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, possibly our function, which is that one which is a hyperbola, it is possibly running maybe somewhere there, and again possibly running somewhere there. I'm just not sure in terms of exactly where it is running, so I'm just making an estimation over there. So can you see, guys, if you have a, let's say, this function and again this function, and you want to have a line right in the middle of this function, or a line that cuts this function into two equal halves. Let me maybe try to make something a little bit more fun so that you fully understand how do we cut it into equal halves. So let me just join that end and again that end. So can you see, guys, it's more like you've got that type of a shape. that type of a shape. I'm not really sure in terms of what type of a shape it looks like, but I just want you guys to visualize what we mean by cutting it into two equal halves. Ladies and gentlemen, do you guys agree that this line, it actually cuts this shape into two equal halves? And again, are you guys able to notice that this line, it still cuts this shape into two equal halves, just like I was explaining there. So it's more like in this case, we've got this line, which is that one cutting this hyperbola into two equal halves. Again, tomorrow you can just cut it like that. But because here we are focusing on functions, remember, this line is that one for y, it's equals to negative x minus 7. And this one is that one for y, it's equals to positive x plus 1. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that at all times you are able to visualize all of this information. For someone who will be studying engineering next year, you will need to have an understanding of this deep so that you are able to interpret the sections. You know, if you've got those big balls where you need to reinforce a building or a stadium, for example, FNB wants you guys to design a stadium. You need to have a deep understanding of visualizing this stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, for ease of reference, let me not remove all of these, but remove this information here. Sorry, so that in case if I need to explain, I'll refer back to that drawing over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I've explained up to this point, did you guys understand before I start with the first question?
Yes.
Okay, so I suppose you guys understood the information explained. So just in case if you did understand or if you did hear, but you're not confident, you're wondering, how do we know the graph is in that direction, whatever, just make sure to catch up on those two previous lessons, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's check what is the first question. So the first question says, show that P is equals to negative, it's equals to positive 3, and again Q is equals to negative 3. And this question is allocated how many marks? It's 4 marks. What an interesting question, and again it's allocated a lot of marks. So let's have a look at this. For those of you who had an opportunity to catch up or watch or attend Monday's lesson, do you still remember in terms of what P is and what Q is? Anyone to give it a try?
Say,
Mm-hmm.
it's Dumelo.
Dumelo, in which province are you, Madam Speaker?
Gauteng.
Okay, go for it, Tumza, go for it.
Say, Q.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vertical shift.
Mm-hmm.
Then P, it's a horizontal shift. The
And
X asymptote.
and then Q,
It's a vertical shift, to say.
in terms of asymptote,
It's a horizontal asymptote.
Tumza. That was 100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, what Tumza is saying over there, she is actually saying, let's see, that P, it tells us in terms of by how many units divided our function shift horizontally. So it's either it shifted in that direction or in this direction. Then the Q tells us in terms of in which direction it shifted. So this hyperbola, it's either it shifted upwards or downwards. So what we know is that at this point, at that point, Tumza, at the point of intersection of these two lines, that is where we have a what is it? That's where we have asymptotes. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, where you have intersection of the lines which they say these are the axes of symmetries of your function, those are your asymptote. If I have to go back to this bread, remember guys, I said this slice of bread can be cut like that, right? So this vertical line, Tumza, is your Q. Wait, not necessarily your Q, but your P, because you said P represents an asymptote, which is a vertical asymptote. Then you can still cut it like that. So this broken line, it is therefore your Q. So this is that point, which is the point of intersection. In this case, is that point over there. So let me show you those asymptotes. So that means you've got this asymptote. Remember, what I'm drawing there is just an estimation. And again, we've got that vertical asymptote, like that. So, Tumza the Tumza, do you agree that since I have an equation for that line, and again I have an equation for that line, if I can equate these two lines and calculate the x value, do you see that I'm going to get the x value of that asymptote? And again, if I use the same information, I'm going to get the y value of the asymptote. Let's quickly try to check if we can manage in doing that. So the two equations are y is equals to x plus 1, and the other one is y is equals to negative x plus 7. Shreyas, this question is almost the same as yesterday's question, but on yesterday's question, they only asked about I think they said you must give an equation of a line which has a positive gradient and it's an axis of symmetry of that function of yesterday. So in this case, can you see how examiner tries to be tricky, guys? But because you attended yesterday's lesson, you realize that if you equate equation number 2 with equation number 3, you are going to determine the x value. So let's see. That means equation number 1, we can take it as x plus 1, which is equals to equation number 2, it's that. So guys, can we try to quickly solve for the x value over there? I've always been saying, Shreyas, to say, you guys in grade 10, if you want to summarize how to solve, you always want to have letters on the left and you want to have numbers on the right. So that means how many letters are we having there? We have 2 letters. How many numbers? We have 2 numbers. So let's move all the letters to the left. So that means you have x, remember, it changes the sign, it becomes positive. That on the left, you already have negative 7. That one changes the sign, it becomes that. You have booty there and another booty there. So you have 2 booties, ladies and gentlemen. So these are just numbers you know. This is negative 8. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are looking for is the value of that booty over there. How do you remove that 2? You divide deliberately by 2. Guys, why did you have to divide by 2? It's because you wanted that 2 to cancel. Whatever you do on the left, you do on the right. So that means x is equals to what is that? This is negative 4. So guys, did we prove that x is equals to that? Let me check what the question said. Let me just quickly check what the question said. Let's see. Show that P is equals to positive that. Okay, so I'm not sure, guys, if you remember that we said for a hyperbola, if its y is equals to, let's say a, we've got maybe x plus p, let's say plus q. And if I remember very well, we said this one, if we want to know the actual value of that, it's actually x plus p being equated to 0. I'm not sure if you guys remember that information. So can you see on this equation, what we calculated is actually the x value. This is not p, but is the x value. So that means if you want to calculate the actual value of p, you substitute there. So you have negative 4 plus p being equals to 0. Then you transpose that to the other side. So that means your p is equals to 4. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, we had to prove that either prove or show that P is equals to 4 and Q is equals to negative 3. We haven't shown that Q is equals to negative 3. How do you do that? Remember, you calculated your X value. So you can take your X value and substitute it in equation 1 or equation number 2. Can the ladies, all the ladies, use that value to calculate the Y value using equation number 1? I mean, use that X value. All the gents, my gents, let's use equation 2 and let's see if we're getting the same answer. What are you guys getting?
Negative 3.
Lady, who's this? Oh, who's that? Is it Likala or who's it? My gents, today please do not disappoint me. What are you guys getting? My gents, so you still want to disappoint me even today? Mr. Tele, near, what hanande? Shreyas, what are you getting there? Likanyo Guzi, was that you who got
Negative 3.
You got negative 3? Okay. Where are you, Likanyo?
Western
In which
Cape,
province?
sir.
Eastern Cape.
Western Cape, yes.
Oh, Western. Okay. My chance. What answer are you getting there?
Negative 3, sir.
Negative 3. So that means y is equals to negative 3. So remember, what I said is that the Q value, it's actually exactly the same as the Y value as it is. But when it comes to that part, this is the one that you equate to 0. So that means this one, it's not as it is, but it's actually X plus P, which is equals to 0. So when we were doing this calculation, we actually calculated for the X value. As you can see there, we said X is equals to that. But the question said, show that P is equals to whatever. That is the reason why we had to substitute the X value being negative 4, and we say plus P is equals to 0. Then we transpose that and it changes a sign, which means P is equals to positive 4. Ladies and gentlemen, before we move to the next question, are you all happy there? Did you understand that calculation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, we understand.
Okay, 100%. So remember, guys, I know there's someone who might be wondering what's going on over there. That is the reason why it is very much important that you catch up on my previous lesson. So for someone who's wondering what we were doing over there, I'm telling you, for those who are saying Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because in my heart, I'm saying attention. And they say, yes, sir. So the reason why they are confidently saying yes, sir, it's because they attended Mondays and Tuesdays lesson. So just make sure that you attend. It's unfortunate I won't re-explain, and the reason to that is because imagine, guys, you've noticed in the group almost every day there's someone new who's joining. So just imagine every time when a new learner joins, I still have to repeat the same thing, repeat the same thing. We won't get to where we are supposed to be. I want all of you guys in this group to get distinctions in your matrix. You might be in grade 10 right now, you might be in grade 11, but one thing for sure, when you get to grade 12, I'm telling you, you will be very much confident. And most importantly, because I say the same thing over and over again, you will get used to these things, Mr. Tele. You will get to this information, Shriyas, Ferdinand, and everyone else who's in grade 10. You will get used to my teaching style, how I mention this stuff and everything. I'm telling you, after 6 to 12 months of attending my lessons, you will be respected by your mates there. My gents, I'm telling you, they will be coming to you with a very big smile to say, can you help me with this? You just tell them that I attend solving exam papers lessons. So, good people, let's quickly move to the next question. I suppose it's not that much complicated. Ladies and gentlemen, the question says calculate the x-intercept of f. Guys, when the question says the x-intercept or the y-intercept, what comes to your mind? What is the first thing that comes to your mind?
To let y is equals to 0.
To let. Someone says to let. Okay, so the question says calculate the x-intercept of f. Someone says to let. What did you say, Madam Speaker?
To let y is equals to 0.
To let y is equals to 0. Do we know the equation of f, ladies and gentlemen? What is the equation of f? Do we know it?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
No, it's
F of x is equal to -2 over x plus p plus q.
But now, what is p? What is q?
-2 over x plus 4 plus -3.
I like that. Blah, 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 blah. I wonder how I'm going to write that, Likale. I'm sure you are going to help me to write that. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. We have blah, 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 -2 over x, blah, 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 blah. What am I writing there, Likale? Is it
Plus
Likale
4.
or Likani? So I'm writing
Likani.
+4 there. Or Likani.
Yes.
I'm writing +4 there, ne?
Yes.
Okay. +4, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
-3.
Minus 3. Ladies and gentlemen, is this correct? Is this the equation of f of x?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Sir.
I got 2 yeses. That p value You need to be careful about that, and you must be confident about that. You guys tell me, is it a positive there or is it a negative?
Negative.
Negative.
Guys, just make sure that you are confident with whatever that you'll be saying. So you tell me, guys, if you say it's positive, give a reason to your answer. If you say negative, also give a reason to your answer there.
Negative, because if we substitute negative and negative, it's positive.
I'm wondering if you guys are confident with what you guys are saying. I'm just wondering. Remember, guys, it's not like I'm saying positive is wrong, and again, it's not like I'm saying negative is wrong. I'm still trying to think as well, but we must have a reason for it to be positive, or otherwise for it to be negative. There must be a reason for that.
So it's positive because it's 4.1. They've said that P is equal to positive 4.
Who said that, ladies and gentlemen?
Sir, that is
Level
negative.
Molebogang. Okay. Tibatso, what are you saying?
Sir, I'm saying that is negative because P is on the equation is positive, but when we put it, we must put it as a negative with a different sign.
Okay. Thanks for that input, ladies and gentlemen. But it seems like because it was stated that show that P it's equals to positive 4, then it means we substitute it as positive 4, as Molebogang said. So, Madam Speaker, if you say it's negative 4 over there, remember the equation is x, let's say, plus P is equals to 0. So if you substitute it as negative 4 there, it's more like you are now saying P it's negative 4. So in your mind, you are actually solving for the x value being positive 4. You transpose them. I'm just not sure if that's what you are thinking. But remember, in this case, Madam Speaker, it's not like we are taking this 4 from a given diagram. You substitute it as or at an opposite sign if you are collecting it from a drawing or from a diagram or from a function where they say maybe it's actually negative 4 being the asymptote of that. So when you take it from there, it is x which is negative 4. So it's more like you have what is it? It's more like you have negative 4 plus P being equals to 0. So can you see? It is x which is negative 4. So you need to solve to get P. Then you transpose and your P is going to be a positive value there. So you just need to be aware that when they say when you substitute it there, you substitute it as a negative sign. This is the calculation. So that number, it's not P, guys. We don't say this number is P and we substitute P as a negative value there. When it's here, or when you take it from the function, you take it as an x value. Then you substitute it there where it is x value, just like I did over there. So you know it's x plus P, it's equated to 0. That is the equation for that bottom part. Then you solve for P. Then your P value is positive 4. I hope it makes sense in terms of this not being a, let's say P, but it's the X value which we can use to calculate the P value. But in short, or the shortcut, we say we substitute it there in the opposite sign. So, ladies and gentlemen, our P is 4. Why, Molebogen? It's because, as you said, they said P is 4. So just substitute it as 4. So remember, guys, someone said we let a y to be 0. So this thing being f of x is actually y. So where we see y, we substitute 0. Sometimes you guys get confused with, you see that being written as g of x, h of x, you forget this is y. So I said this is y, but because we are dealing with more functions on one Cartesian plane, we give those functions names so that we know who we are dealing with. So in this case, we are dealing with Bra France. And you see, so we know Bra France is a male. So I said Y is a male, then let's say X is a female. But to specify the type of a male that we are dealing with, we can say this is France, or maybe this is George, or we can have a KK there. What else can we have, ladies and gentlemen? We can also have Tlhologelo there. Can you see? But we know Tlhologelo is a male. So that means, in short, ladies and gentlemen, because we already know that we are dealing with f of x, we know we are dealing with a male. Who? Bra France. Okay. So let's see. Bra France, they said we let him to be 0 equals to -2 over x plus 4 minus 3. So can you see? This is the person that we are looking for. So how do we mathematically get to that lady over there? Let's see, guys. We have to use maths rules. Ladies and gentlemen, I always say maths is like a game, guys. You know, for you to learn a game, it could be chess game, it could be whatever. You need to first learn the functions, or otherwise you need to first learn the buttons to say, okay, when I click on this button, it takes me up. When I do this, it takes me up. If I want to do this, I have to do this. Then from there, that's when you can add the levels to moderate, difficult, whatever. So also here, we need to apply mathematical rules, of which I taught in one of my early lessons in the beginning of this year. I think I'll still have to do that lesson again so that you guys are able to apply mathematical rules. So ladies and gentlemen, you transpose. So you have +3, which is equals to -2 over x plus 4. Then, because on the right you have a fraction, you also do a fraction there. Why, Debat? So why did you have to do a fraction on this side? It's because you wanted to cross multiply. What does it mean when you cross multiply? It means this number at the bottom, it multiplies that one on the other side. And this one, it multiplies that one. So it's more like you have 3 multiplying x plus 4. Why do I put it in brackets? It's because in between, I've got 2 terms with a sign of a plus. It could be a minus tomorrow. Then this is just times that. It's more like it's -2 multiplied by 1. So can you see? Mathematically, you know very well that when you've got something on the outside and this inside, you do that, by that. So that means you've got 3x, it's equals to blah, 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 blah. It's 12. Okay, so let's see. What is -2 times 1? Blah, 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 blah. It's -2. Okay, so let's see. What do we do? Free, as I said, you always want to have the letters on the left, numbers on the right. So let's see. Okay, we transpose. Then we have, what is it? -14. Let's see. We have 3. Let's see. We have, okay, we divide by, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we answered the question. Did we not answer the question where they said calculate the x-intercept of f? It seems like we did, guys. How many marks do we get for? Just 2 marks. Can you see how the examiner, can you see how greedy they are? Just 2 marks for all of this. So you need to be mathematically sharp Ferdinand, for you to be able to get to that final answer. Who's that lady who made me to say blah? Let me see. Likanye, did you understand, Madam Speaker?
No, sir.
You did not understand.
I understand. Sir.
Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me check. Who's on the line? Kevin, did you understand? Shreya, Stella,
Yes,
did you
sir.
guys understand? Marvin,
Yes, sir.
oh, Sakina, you are there. Did you understand, Sakina?
Yes, I have network problems, so I'm so lost.
Okay, it's fine. Remember, the lesson is being recorded. Make sure to catch up tomorrow. I'm going to get my admin to upload this lesson first thing in the morning. Nay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you score yourself 2 marks. So, just make sure that all of you guys catch up from Monday's lesson. You watch the lesson for Tuesday. You will be able to fully understand what's going on over there. So, can you guys see that? What is this thing in decimal? Can someone just punch that as a decimal and tell me what is negative 14 over 3?
Negative
Negative
4,6.
4,67.
Negative 4,6. So that negative 4,6, guys, it's actually the x-intercept of 4. Remember, we guessed that this equation could be something similar to that. This is just an estimation, remember, guys. It wasn't drawn to be accurate. So that means this is the x-intercept of that function. What is it? It is that negative 14. What is that? Is it negative 14? Yes, it is that negative 14,3. In decimal, it's negative 4,6. So can you see that we are almost accurate in terms of drawing that? And again, let's see. So can you see that for this one, you are actually going to calculate that y-intercept if you have to sketch that function. So let's see. What is the second or the last question say? So it says sketch the function of f, clearly label all intercepts with the axis and the asymptotes. And this question is allocated 4 marks. So I'm just going to remove all of this. But do you guys understand exactly what the question wants you to do, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Likanye, I'm sure you are still thinking and saying, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. What you need to do is to sketch. Very, very much important, ladies. To sketch. You must sketch. Good people, do not write essay there. Ladies and gentlemen, do not do funny stuff there, but sketch. Where's your starting point when you sketch? A Cartesian plane. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. A Cartesian plane. What is a Cartesian plane? It is the x-axis, it is the y-axis. We know this is the origin. We've got the quadrants and everything. Always, when you sketch a hyperbola or exponential function, ladies and gentlemen, start with your asymptotes. So
Asymptote.
100%. Who's that? What asymptotes are we having there?
X is
negative
equal
3.
to negative
4
4
and negative 3.
and Y is
Wait. Mbali and Lebohang. Let's let who is it? Amanda. Amanda, go for it.
X is equal to negative 4.
Okay, so if you're saying x is equal to negative 4, let's just summarize to it. So you're saying this is the vertical one, negative 4.
Yes, sir.
And the other one?
Then Y is negative 3.
y it's -3. Let's just assume it to be there, where y it's equals to -3. Okay, so remember our function is y is equals to, or you can just say franc of x. What is that? This is -2 over x plus 4 minus 3 over. But if p is +4, Amanda, why are we now talking about -4? Where did you get that -4? What's going on over there, guys?
X plus 4 is equal to 0. Then we solve for x.
Oh, yes, that's how you get negative. Okay, 100%. So, ladies and gentlemen, that means when you are dealing with a hyperbola, in terms of the vertical asymptote, you must just equate that to 0 and solve for x. That is your asymptote. But for that, for y, you take it as it is, ladies and gentlemen. You take it as it is. It's like a fruit. So, we can say this is a fruit. You don't need to cook it, you just take it as it is. And this part is actually a vegetable. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? You just cook it. By cooking, you solve it. I know Mr. Kele, he is able to chow a potato without cooking it. But in this case, Mr. Kele, you must cook it, okay? You must cook it, because otherwise, if you don't cook it, you won't succeed with your catering company. So, good people, what else do we need when we sketch a hyperbola? We need the x and I think we also need the y-intercept. But I think we did calculate the x-intercept, guys, and we got -3. -14 over 3. As a decimal, you said it's negative. I think you said it's -4.6, somewhere there. So this is negative. This is -1, -2, -3, -4. So maybe -4.6. It could be somewhere there. Okay. So now we need the y-intercept of we now need the y-intercept of that hyperbola on this side. Maybe let me just sketch for this one. So you know the shape of a hyperbola, most guys. We said it just goes closer to the asymptote. We were saying iyasondela. It doesn't touch, it never cross, but iyasondela, which means erapala leyona kasipedi. It just gets closer to the axis of what is it, to that asymptote over there. So how do we get the y-intercept, guys? What comes to your mind when we say we need the y-intercept?
Let x is equal to 0.
Let x is equals to 0. So let's let that to be equal. So that means, in short, she's saying we substitute 0 where we see x. So that means you're going to have y is equals to -2 over 0 plus 4 minus 3. What is that? Blah, blah, hey, it seems like this blah, blah, blah is not working here. Guys, this is -half minus 3. So it's more like it's -3.5. What is -3.5? Is it 7 over 2?
Yes.
Huh? Is
Yes,
it
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
So as a decimal, I think it's -3, Hey, guys, it seems like this thing is working. Just make sure that if you get that difficult question, remember this lady, Likhanyi. Remember, in exam you don't speak, guys. Don't be making noise saying because otherwise they will be thinking of calling a pastor to quickly pray for you there. So just make sure no, but in your heart you just say let's see. This is -3 somewhere there. That means, Shriyas, when you sketch your hyperbola, it just has to cut somewhere there, actually exactly at that point there. Then it goes like that. Never touches it. Guys, if this line touch or cross that, I'm going to give you a very big zero. If your function cuts or touch that line, your new home is in the mountains, guys. I am telling you, I'm not joking about that, because you will be designing a bridge which is going to fall and people are going to lose their lives. So in mathematics, everything has to be 100% correct. There's no room for any mistakes. Very, very much important, guys. So you must show to me that this point there, it's -7/2. If you don't, I also won't give you a mark. Why should I give you a mark if you don't tell me what is that, ladies and gentlemen? If you do not tell me what is that point over there, I'm not even going to bother to waste my ink by giving you a mark. I'll just leave it and not give you a mark, ladies. Guys, are you happy up to what we have done up to this point? So they will give you a mark for that horizontal asymptote, and again for the vertical asymptote they are going to give you a mark. Ladies and gentlemen, they are also going to give you a mark for the Y-intercept. Very, very much important. Only for the Y-intercept. Why? Because you proved that you know how to calculate the X-intercept, and we gave you a mark on the previous question. So for now, we'll just give you a mark for that. For asymptote, we give you a mark. Asymptote, we give you a mark. And again, generally, for the shape of that hyperbola, we're going to give you a mark. I'm telling you, some of you guys will be putting some signatures there, of which we don't know if this is a signature or are you writing in tongue there, or guys, sketch a hyperbola and get yourself maximum marks. Ladies and gentlemen, before we quickly move to the next question, are you all happy up to what we have covered up to this point?
Yes, sir. I am happy.
Yes.
Yes.
Guys, if you are happy, why are you not smiling? Because I don't see any of you guys smiling. You guys are lying. You guys are lying to me. So, okay, I saw someone in KZN. She's busy smiling there.
Sir,
Ladies and gentlemen, Olga, what are you saying?
sir, yes, sir. I was just saying that I'm not happy because of I have a network problem
Oh,
and I
okay,
didn't hear you clearly, so I'm lost.
Olga.
Right.
Is there someone who wants to explain to Olga why I like using Telegram? Moleboge, can you comfort Olga there? Okay, so to everyone who is in Olga's situation, don't worry. Just remain in the lesson until the end. One thing for sure, my admin is going to post this lesson first thing tomorrow morning, so you can be able to catch up. And one thing for sure, all the information that you missed, it's going to be clear when you catch up. So just make sure that it's either you buy daily data over the weekend and go through all the lessons. Just buy that daily data to go through all the lessons, or maybe midnight data, whatever. You go through all the lessons at once. Then you know you can write down all the necessary notes that you need to write. So don't worry that much. I know some of you guys are experiencing load shedding wherever you are. And again, the network is a bit poor. But just make sure to remain in the lesson. And most importantly, guys, do make sure that you catch up. So guys, let's quickly move to question number 5. So I think I'll try to move a little bit faster there so that I don't run out of a battery. Another thing, guys, remember, in this group, we've got different participants with different needs. Some of you guys, they prefer a one-on-one lesson. Some of you guys are behind. Some of you guys, you need to do some extra lessons. So this is what I can tell you guys. In the group, there's a pinned message. After this lesson, make sure to click on that pinned message and see the packages that I've got. I think we've got bronze, we've got silver, then we've got gold. I'm just not sure in terms of the packages. So just check which package is suitable for you. I've got one where all of you guys attend in this lesson, and I only do chapters which are common in every grade. For example, during the week, you will never see me doing Doppler effect, for example, because it's only in metric. But functions are in grade 10, 11, and 12. So in case if you're in grade 12 and you want those special chapters, click on that pinned message. It's going to give you a detailed information of how you can get to one-on-one lessons. And again, if we do this lesson today and you are not satisfied, in a sense that maybe you want me to teach you on how to solve some more similar or relevant problems, there's also a package for that, of which over the weekend we go through some extra lessons. I know Shreyas is in that package over the weekend. In case if he needs us to revise something that we have done during the week, we are able to just spend our spare time working on that. So just make sure that you choose a package. Ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly put down my pen and explain to you something very, very much important, of which I so wish it can sink to yourself, and also I so wish you can tell your parents. After I've realized this thing that I'm going to tell you guys, that's when I started taking education seriously. Let's say you have 7 years in primary. Obviously, you have 5 years. Let's say 7 years. You have 5 years in high school. And most of you guys, you discover myself while you are remaining with either 3 or 2 or 1 year to complete your high school. I want to bring it to your attention, guys, that if you are in grade 10, you are remaining with less than 3 years to prepare for the rest of your life. If you're in grade 11, you are remaining with less than 2 years to prepare for the rest of your life. In grade 12, you're remaining with almost 6 months or less than 6 months to prepare for the rest of your life. Let's talk about that part of which I refer to the rest of your life. By estimation, let's say this plus that, 12 years. Let's say after you spending 12 years in primary and high school, you still have, let's say, another 50 years to live. So the danger with you not taking your education seriously, ladies and gentlemen, the danger of you not taking your high school education seriously is that you will live for additional 50 years with a struggle of finding proper job, with a struggle of living a better life, with struggle of you achieving your goals or realizing your dreams. So just make sure, ladies and gentlemen, to speak to your parents to say, I'm remaining with this so many years for me to better my life and possibly to better your life as your mother, your father, or your elder, or whoever your guardian is. Tell them you are remaining with so much, which is little, to better everyone's life in the family. So please, let's invest in my education while I'm still in high school. Why? Because you can pass with distinctions. What happens when you pass with distinctions? You get bursaries, you get better education, you qualify to study in good institutions. What happens, ladies and gentlemen? Employers, they regard you as a valuable asset. What does it mean, good people? It means better job, a good salary, good life. I see Verpa there. What else am I seeing? I'm seeing some expensive weaves for ladies there. The gents, I'm not sure. These gents, they like, I'm not sure if, what do they call it? Is it Corona or what is it? Whatever it is, ladies. I see so many things in you passing very well, ladies. But that only happens if you take your high school life seriously. But if you do not, I'm telling you guys, you will be submitting CVs left, right, and center. I'm telling you guys, you will be bothering your parents to say, I need this money for 1, 2, 3, I need whatever. I told you guys about merit bursary to say, if you pass very well in your matric, you qualify for a bursary at an institution. If maybe you want to study medicine and on your first year the cost of your studies is 100,000, if you get a bursary that pays that 100,000, it means the merit bursary that you got, the institution or the university is going to give you all of this money. It goes directly to your account. You can claim it and you can do whatever that you need, or otherwise you can spare it for difficult times in case if you fail some modules and your bursary says it can't cover you on that. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, just to add on to this, they don't call me the best tutor in South Africa for nothing. It's because, ladies and gentlemen, I was just an average learner. But after noticing what I've explained to you, I pulled up my socks. I started studying and 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 studying. Ladies and gentlemen, someone has to come up with the beats for this my piano song, which says, and studying and studying. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if you take your high school education seriously, you will pass with the distinctions. I am telling you, ladies and guys, before I even go deep, because I can feel it that I'm getting a Holy Spirit. I was very close, ladies and gentlemen, to put that plate over there for collections. Good people, before I continue, are you all understanding what I'm telling you guys? Does it make sense to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I hope you will carefully listen and attentively listen. Here comes a statement in relation to this sketch. Question number 5. Sketched below are the graphs of f of x is equals to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. So we've got f of x, which is equals to negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. And g of x being, there we've got g of x being 2x plus 4. A and B are the x-intercepts of f. C, that one over there, is the turning point of f. So, good people, that's all we're given in relation to this diagram. Even if we were not given an interpretation or a bit of explanation of what is what, we already know that A is that point over there. We know that B is that point over there, which is the x-intercept of that function, which is called preference. So we also have Gilbert over there. So this is the graph of G, and we know that for the graph of G, indeed, it has to be in that direction because it has a positive gradient. And we know that for f of x, it has to be -2 because the a value is negative. And we said when the a value is negative, we have a sad face. This is how you see if it's a sad face. That's if a it's positive. No, it's negative. But if a it's positive, then you have a smiling shape. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I always have to indicate this information so that our new student over there can notice and understand what I'm talking about. And again, guys, we know at this point, this is the point of intersection. What happens there? Sure, yes, that's where this graph and that graph have got the same x value and they've got the same y value. I'm just not sure if that y value is a little bit above or below. Don't say the y value is exactly there because I drew this by hand. It's just an estimation. And again, we know that at that point, this is the y-intercept of that function. And again, this is the TP. What is the TP? TP is the turning point. So when you are given a function like that, just know it's easy because you can calculate those intercepts using the formula. You can calculate the y-intercept, and again, if you have a, b, and c values, you can easily calculate the turning points. And again, if you are given a straight line equation with those values, you can easily calculate whatever the question wants you to calculate. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So now, let's try to answer the question. Anyone to read for us the first question there? Anyone to read for us the first question there? I'm going to scan and choose. Olga.
Calculate the coordinates of A and B.
Calculate the coordinates of A and B. So we know that A and B are the x-intercepts. So someone has always been saying let y to be 0. So also here we are going to let y to be equals to 0. On this equation, which is preference being equals to -2x squared plus 4x plus wait guys, yes, it's plus 16. So we say let y be equals to 0. So that means we have 0 being equals to that plus that plus that. So let's see, we just have to solve for x and obviously expect to get 2 values in the end. So how do we solve for x? Remember, Shreyas, I said this is an equation because you see an equal sign over there. And again, this is a quadratic equation because you see squared over there. What does it mean? It means everything must be equated to 0. Then you must have a positive a value there before you can factorize. So because the a value, it's not negative, you can maybe, for example, just divide everything by negative or otherwise by -2. Let's see, if you divide everything by -2, what are you getting? There is going to cancel, you remain with x squared, and then there you are going to have -2x. There you are going to have -8, and 0 divided by -2 is 0. So can you see? A is now positive, you can factorize. So some of you guys, you can still use a quadratic formula. It doesn't really matter that much. But because I know the muti to use to find the answers, I'm going to use it. Let's see. Let's see. I know 4 times 2, it gives 8. The middle number takes the sign of the bigger, what the bigger number takes the sign of the middle term. Let's see. To have negative there, I'm going to have positive. So this times that is that, this times that is negative 4, this times that is positive 2, then negative 4 plus positive 2 takes me back to that, that times that is negative 4. So can you see, I just equate this to 0 and equate that to 0. So it's more like I have 0 which is equals to x plus 2, or x minus 4 is equals to 0. X is equals to negative that. X is equals to positive that. So can you see, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like we have answered the question. I'm not sure. Are you guys following what I'm doing over there, or are you wondering?
We can see it.
Sir.
If you are following, ladies and gentlemen, that means we must now answer the question. What did the question say? It said calculate the coordinates of A and B. What are the coordinates? A coordinate, it has the x and the y value. It has the x and the y value. So we need to give the coordinates of A and again the coordinates of B. We knew that at A, y at 0, and again at B, y at 0. So between these two values, which one suits to be the A value and which one suits to be the B value, and what is the reason for your answer?
A is negative 2, sir.
But why, Kevin? Why are you saying A is negative 2, sir?
On our Cartesian plane is on the negative x-axis, sir.
Yeah, but now what about B?
B is 4.
But Kevin, why are you saying B is 4? You must tell us the reason, because you know we are slow learners, Kevin. What are you saying?
It's on the positive. It's on the positive axis of x-axis on our Cartesian plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, our A value is negative 2. Our B, the x value of the coordinate of B is positive 4. Guys, did you all understand what Kevin was saying over there? Guys, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you score yourself 3 marks. So let's quickly move to question 5.2, which says determine the coordinates of C, the turning point of F. But before we forget, guys, let's do this. Kevin said this is negative 2, and this is what I think he said is positive 4. So let's make sure to write that information over there. Okay, so guys, the question says determine the coordinates of C. Where is C? There is C. What's going on there? The turning point. This is the turning point of what? Of F. Oh, okay. So F is our parabola, and we always know. I've explained in one of my lessons, Mr. D, to say when you have a parabola, this point, which is the turning point, the x value of the turning point is negative b over what is it, 2a. This is the x value at the turning point, and the y value you just substitute into that formula of f, whatever x value that you got, so that you calculate the y. So this is the x and this is the y. So let's do it. Let's see. What is b? What is a? Do we know what is that, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is it, Kevin?
Our B is 4, sir. Our A is -2.
100%. Kevin, from now on, you and me, same WhatsApp group. Okay. Are you happy, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Kevin. So let's proceed, Kevin. Let's see. You said our B value there. What is it? It's 4. So, guys, very much important. You substituted inside the brackets. Okay. So let's see. We have our A value there. Said is that. So what are you guys getting there?
1, sir.
Let's see. But why you say 1, my friend? Oh yes, no, I agree, my friend. So let's see how do we get that, Kevin? So okay, that means they see there. We have 1 there. Let's see. What about 1 there? So okay, that. Let's see.
We can substitute the value 1 in our original equation, sir.
But what are we getting there?
We're getting 10.
Are you sure? Is everyone getting 10 there? I don't trust this friend of mine. He doesn't tell me how he calculates that. You see, my friend. You see now. You see, my friend. You are now disappointing me, man. Kevin. Let me try to find a new friend. This Kevin. Yeah. No. Let me see. Mr. Tele, can you be my new friend now? You see, Kevin is disappointing me there. Let's see. -2 there. 1 there. +4. 1 there. +16. Kevin. You are disappointing me, my brother. I'm very, very much disappointed, my brother. Let's see. Guys, we answered the question, Mus. Are you guys able to see that we answered the question? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But you disappointed me. Don't talk to me, brother. You disappoint me, man. Hey, Kevin, is it only me and you who are remaining in this lesson? Where are the other guys?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
The other guys, are you happy there, or are you jealous of me speaking to this friend of mine who's disappointing me? Are you guys following there? Are you happy there?
Yes, we are.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
How is it going there? Ditsamaya Luande. Luanda Kunene. Tumelo Janifa, Dinos, Gift Matlani, Nchabelenta Banele Tebazo Precious, Lilu, Jema Minentle, Olga. Khululeka Nihlophe Offense, Shreya, Stele, Amanda, Leboga Moloi Grace, Esitle Pandele, Sakina, I hope all of you guys are happy over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you score yourself. Let's see, how many marks? 2 marks. Just 2 marks, guys. I think where will they give you some marks, guys? Because this is easy, guys. Easy. They will just give you a mark, I think, for correct substitution, and again for correct final answer. So it's not really a complicated thing there. So for you to get 1 and for you to get A, they give you a mark over there. So okay, let's now quickly move to the next question. I think I must find a new friend. Kevin disappointed me there. I must now find a new friend for today's lesson. Let's see. Let's see. And yeah, it makes sense because x is on the positive side, so it has to be a positive value. What was it? We got 1. Yes, we got 1. And wait, you see, this turning point, guys, it has to be a value bigger than 16. Why bigger than 16? Because 16 is actually the y-intercept. So that means there at 16. When you calculate for the y value of the turning point, it must not be 16 or anything less than 16, because you can see 16, you have a 17, 18 there being the turning point. Very, very much important, ladies, and massively important. Okay, so now let's have a look at the other question, which is given 1 mark. They say, write down the range of f. This is question 5.3. So every time, guys, when they talk about the range, a graph could be like that or a graph could be like that. When they talk about the range, we always focus on the turning point and we look at the y value at the turning point. So at TP, here, obviously, we are going to have a positive y value. There, we are going to have a negative y value. So if it's a graph with a Z shape like that, for the range, you are going to say y is less than, then you give the y value. So for this one, the range, think it has to be y is greater than whatever y value of the turning point. I think I'm right, guys. For those of you who have done this chapter already, is my explanation correct there?
Yes, sir.
Esihle, then what is the range of that function?
It's y is less or equal to 0, since a is less than 0.
Okay, another one to also give it a try with a reason to that.
So it's 18 less than or equal to.
It's more like, what did you say?
18.
What did you say?
Y,
Mm-hmm.
y is less than or equal to 18.
Y is less than or equals to 18, which means, on what I've explained, when we talk about the turning point, it's not just less than, but it's less than or is equals to. If it's greater than, is greater than or is equals to. So the reason to that, guys, is because you are including that 18 being value. So in short, you are saying that the function is actually, it ranges from there going downwards up to infinity. What confirms that part of up to infinity? The moment you see a function, then in the end there's an arrow, then you know this is up to infinity. Unlike in analytical geometry, the difference is that if you have a line, for example, it will just be a line with a point there and a point there. That is why you are able to calculate the coordinates of A and B, for example, and also the length. It's because it's from there to there. But with this straight line, you cannot calculate the length because it doesn't mean that graph of G, it ends there or it ends there. Because of that arrow, it continues up to infinity. I'm sure if I put this one like this, if we were to project this thing straight, it was going to get to Kevin. I'm telling you, this direction is going to Kevin. I don't want to lie, guys. Let me see. I think this one, that direction, is going to Zimbabwe. That one, I know. I know Lerato now is in Zimbabwe. Let me see. Did Lerato attend today's lesson? I think maybe she's writing. So remember, guys, in case if you are writing and we have a lesson, don't stress that much about attending the lesson. Just make sure that you indicate to say, maybe via inbox, you just say you won't be able to attend, maybe because you're writing, whatever. Because for every lesson that I do, guys, we do have a register to check who's attending, who's not attending. During rainy seasons, especially during exams, guys, if you were attending and you're struggling or you're stranded with something, if I'm free, I can easily be able to help you because I notice your name pops up a lot on attendance register. So if you send apologies, then I'm able to notice that you did wish to attend, but because of network, because of load shedding, because you were preparing for a test, because you were writing your homework, because you were doing your assignment and whatever, you couldn't attend. That is why when I do my lessons, I don't cut them short. If they are long for that day, they will be long because it's been recorded. I'm going to post it and you can catch up. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that last question I'm going to give to you guys as a homework. And as a homework, it means you can send it anytime before let's say before Sunday. So just make sure that, or maybe let me say the latest end of Sunday. So whenever you get a chance, you can just do it. But otherwise, if you don't get a chance, just make sure to indicate I couldn't make it. And remember, it doesn't need to be the correct answer. Whatever answer that you get, just tell me what you're getting so that I'm able to know. Because the more you give me the wrong answers, the more I'm able to even explain better, because I notice where you are struggling. In tomorrow's lesson, guys, I think I should share with you this secret that I was actually using for me to be able to know these things. So guys, can we agree to say the last one is your exam? And again, were you guys happy with today's lesson up to this point? How was the lesson? How was the lesson?
The lesson was dope.
The lesson was dope. So.
It was dope, Kevin. It was. Who's the dope guy? Do you guys know who's the dope guy? I'm not sure if he attended. The dope guy
was fire.
is I was just checking, that one was saying it was fine. The dope guy, I'll bring the dope guy tomorrow, guys. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. So guys, just in case if you attended today's lesson, I beg you to subscribe on my YouTube channel, because you will be notified when this lesson is being posted, and again together with other upcoming lessons. So just make sure to subscribe and hit hit that bell notification. So after the end of this lesson, guys, just make sure to raise your hand if you attended today's lesson. If need be, just make that comment in terms of how the lesson was, so that we encourage other learners to attend, so that we don't fall behind. It is my wish that everyone managed to attend these lessons and learn some more, guys. The reason why I was good, guys, is because I was not greedy in information. So I just have to make sure that everyone attend my lesson. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson as much as I did. Have a good night. My name is Desmond, and I'm out.